Welcome to another episode highlight brought to you by the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to support the show, simply hit that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications, and you'll be notified every time we go live. See you in the comments.
So we're going to focus on Kareem this week. If you're listening to the podcast, please click on the podcast description. You'll find a link in there. And when you click that, it'll take you to our Facebook page. And then you can actually flick through all the cards we're about to talk about. So how I divided this up was I didn't want to go too crazy and list, 20 cards. So I tried to keep the list to 10. That was my sort of ultimate goal.
Yep.
And I divided it up into Card Ladder's top rated cards.
Okay.
And then I divided up into ultra modern, and then in the ultra modern I had a sub $10 card. I wanted to have at least a pocket change card in there. So that's how I did that.
Nice.
So if we start at the top of our list, it's the 1986 Fleer card, and I was really surprised that this was his most highly rated card by Card Ladder, because I just assumed it would be his sort of the tall boy, his rookie card,
the Lou Alcindor.
Yeah, but it does actually make sense that this is probably the most liquid card considering the set that it came out of. So this is the very famous
86
Jordan
Fleer.
rookie,
Yep.
86 Fleer. So look, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing card or, anything like that. But at the same time, I do understand the liquidity of this card and how it could be the most traded card. Like, the logic is there.
Yep.
The other thing I like about this card too is a PSA 8 is in the $100 range.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's not out of your reach by...
It's not,
Might take you a couple of weeks to save up for it or, whatever, but at the same time, the PSA 10, on the other hand, that's selling for $4,680. So there is a massive jump up between
Bit of a jump.
the 10 and the 8. And that's actually a theme that's going to be very strong coming out at the next cards that we do talk about.
Yeah.
And we've spoke about this a fair bit over the last few months about as the population of cards starts to build up and the gap that's now beginning to show itself between 9 and 10. So, and I would say going back into the vintage stuff, that's something that you're seeing much more heavily delineated. So
Yeah. So it's well, I was going to say the population on those cards are very different from the ultra modern era.
Very different.
How many Lucas are we at now? 150,000 rookies? No. Anyway.
Well, we can check it out.
We can go and do a check later on Zion.
I didn't do any prep on that, to be fair. So
no.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the numbers keep ticking up as people find rookie cards. On to Kareem, card number 2. I'm sure it's the one I'm thinking of.
So this is his 1969, the rookie card.
Yep. Is that the tops? Lou Alcindor? The extra
tops
long...
one, and it's very long, yeah. So this is the one that I thought was going to be number 1, and this is something that is on my all-time sort of grail list. I have a lot of respect for this card.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't have it in my collection is because of the price. So a SGC 3 is currently selling at 868 USD. So that's around 1,200 Aussie dollars.
Oh, wow.
If you look at the all-time data for this, it did have a spike during COVID, but it's almost as if during that COVID time, it just sort of held tight and hasn't really, moved much at all. It has slid down a little bit, but I think that's actually the best way to describe this card. It's really sitting at COVID, pricing. So
oh wow,
this is not something you can just really easily acquire. And then, as you go up the PSA ladder, so does the pricing. So the PSA 10 recently sold for 240,000. The previous sale though, which was in 2016, these don't sell very often at all. That's sold for $500,000.
Crikey.
Yeah.
That's a price. I've for those on the live stream, I've been messing around and I've now got these images up on the feed.
Thank you, sir.
There we go. So on the YouTube, on the Facebook, you'll be able to, and the Twitch stream, you'll be able to see what cards we're talking about. So I'll just go back quickly. That's the first one. And all right.
So, my question for you, Ad, is this something that you covet for your collection at that price?
The Lou Alcindor.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's one that I go back to every now and then, and I'm like, it's tough. It's a card I would want, and it worries me. Like, it's like, how would I, like, at what? Yeah.
I do wonder, though, for this card in terms of the slow burn. Actually, is this a very safe card to purchase?
Oh, yeah, probably. Probably.
Particularly in the lowered. Like, you can see the PSA 10 has had, a massive variance.
Yeah.
But if you look at everything else, apart from obviously during that COVID time, it's been very stable and very steady.
It's one of those. I guess it's. How do you put it? It's a historical card. It's never his career is done. Yes, there is one person that's now scored more points than him, but I doubt that's ever going to be changed. He's always going to be at least number 2, and he was number 1 for forever. So, yeah, I like it is like a piece of history. It's one of those. It's like the Jordan rookie. It's the 86 Fleer Jordan rookie. It's one of those.
Yep.
It's one of those icons of the sport.
Definitely.
Or the hobby, in our sense. But yeah, I don't know. What grade do you think would be? At what point do you go, you know what? I'm just going to go for a low grade.
That's where I would enter. I would buy nothing more than a PSA 2 or a PSA 3.
Yeah. Because
just purely for price point. Like, I'm being realistic here.
That's where I'm sort of looking at it going, is there a price point where I just go, that's too much for that grade? And the population. Because I'm trying to figure out where I sit. Because I'm looking at the population counts as well. It's tough.
Yeah,
it's actually like an interesting little debate.
That's super fun.
If anyone wants to just give me a PSA 10, that's fine. I don't mind.
Like,
one of them. There's only 2 of them.
For lifelong sponsorship of the show, do you reckon?
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Alrighty, next on the list is a 1981 Topps Kareem card. And this card I literally knew nothing about. So this was purely, I pulled this from the numbers.
Is this the same as the Magic set where I was talking about last week with Magic? Maybe. The one that I consider as his rookie card?
Oh, okay.
I think it's the same set. This is where the Magic one comes from.
So my take on this card is, look at the sales all time on this. So basically for between 2005 and 2020, it was sitting very consistently around sort of the $80 to $100.
Yeah.
And then COVID went crazy. So let's just take that, sort of crazy bit out. I do have to tell you the all-time high, the PSA 10 sold for $4,898. And then let's go down to sort of a pretty reasonable price, which is $1,413. And that was at sort of towards the end of 21.
Sheesh.
If you look at that from 21 to now, it's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Is that the type of card where, this is a bad analogy, but like the Net Marvels or a Sneaker Spotlight, one of those sort of insert cards that just does really, really well? Is this the type of card where you jump into the market and you say, this is just a really big player, it's a great card, it's a PSA 10, it's an iconic card, it's an important card, and actually, for a long-term purchase and hold, This is just like something, really good to put into my collection. That's how I feel when I look at this card, because there's nothing other than that to me, other than, obviously the player that is, it's Kareem. Now, keeping that in mind, so that's what the PSA 10 last sold for 1,100. The PSA 9, this is where it gets really interesting. Last sold
Juicy.
for $95. So, and I think this is where I really love cards, is because, I would never spend, I wouldn't purchase that card for $1,400 for $1,100.
Yeah.
It's just, I wouldn't put my money like that. But the PSA 9, keeping
That's a different story, right?
yeah, like I think that's a really great purchase, and I think that's something that over time is just going to hold its value.
I agree. That's very interesting.
Yeah,
I like it, especially at $100 for a PSA 9.
yeah,
What does grading cost these days? $50.
a little bit less
Yeah.
than 50 AUD, but yeah.
Interesting.
Next on the list is the 1972 Topps card. Now this is
Isn't he? He's bending down to fit into the card, so I didn't want to do a long one again.
yeah, this is very iconic. This card though, this is because it's got this sort of
Yeah.
it's almost an art card at the same time as a photo, and that very 70s sort of lettering at the bottom too, the blue writing. This is probably, I like this card more than the last card.
Yep.
Now, obviously, this is not traded as much as the other card, and I do get it. It's like the other card is a very nice card. Like, don't get me wrong, but I personally like this one better. And the PSA 9 last sold for 2,300. So
Population of 110.
which is maybe why the other card is traded more, because it is just that little bit cheaper. The PSA 10 is 16K. Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
That is wild. The population on the PSA 10, mind you, is 7.
Yep.
That is a rare card.
Yeah, so PSA put this overvalued at 23% overvalued. I'm actually, I don't value that information that much, but in this particular instance, I'm going to agree with PSA here. I actually think this card's a little bit over.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's
I'd love to hear if anyone disagrees with my take on that too, because there's probably a very good reason why it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Well, the population explains a lot, doesn't it?
The pop explains a lot.
Yeah.
Population of 110 on the PSA 9, but a population of 7 on the, I guess any super serious Kareem collectors to get that card. I mean, if there's only 7 that are of that quality,
you're in that echelon of Kareem collectors if you own that card.
Yeah.
Alrighty, our next one is for the pocket change enthusiast. This is from Prism Draft, which is a product that I very dearly love.
Bang.
This is from the Choice boxes. So this is the Choice scope, the blue, yellow, and green. This is when he played for the University of California. And this card sold for $5 USD. It's not numbered, but it definitely gives you a chance to buy into something that is ultra modern, but in his sort of retro, his college uniform.
The retro look. Yeah. Shout out to Prism, because they do a lot of the legends. The set you'll find, and look, this is specific with the draft picks, but they do. I've got a couple of just like silver prisms and things from the previous Prism sets where they've done Kareem. Generally, it's in a Lakers uniform, but yeah.
The next one I picked because it's an on-card autograph, and actually what I wanted to highlight here is, so this is a Contenders Optic on-card autograph. It's numbered to 15, so it's low numbered, but I actually think this went for a little bit over in comparison to the card that's after that on the list. So this sold for $300 USD. And look, I don't think the person who bought this, got ripped off or, anything like that. I don't think it's shill bidded. I'm definitely not trying to create controversy. It's a lovely card.
Sure. Yeah.
And whoever bought it, congrats. It's beautiful. But if you then move into the next card, which is on the list, which is the Flawless autograph, So that sold for $323. And
Wow.
typically, this is number to 20, so there is a couple more of these, but for that extra $20, I think I'd be stepping into a flawless.
You think it's a time and a place thing? Like an auction that's
Definitely.
just the timing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would also say a little bit at the moment too, it's more of a buyer's market.
True.
So if there was someone chasing that particular optic card and pushing it up, whereas there was just literally no one trying to buy this flawless card, it might have I'm using air quotes for people who are listening at home.
Yeah.
Fallen into your lap for 323. Like sometimes you do just get a little bit lucky.
Just get lucky.
So I love this flawless card. It's for me. If I had to choose between the two, I would be going for this. I love that Lakers uniform. I love that very classic sort of sleek design they've created here, and
yeah,
it's still shiny but not too shiny. Do you know what I mean? Like they've really captured that quite nicely.
Yeah. That's that's what flawless do. The name lives up to it.
Yeah.
Nice on card. Is it on card? Yeah.
On card, yeah.
Looks on card.
So this last one, you'd be surprised how little of his patch stuff sells. I had to search quite long and hard. That's an exaggeration, but a lot harder than the rest of it. Let me put it to you that way. Yep.
That is a beautiful card, by the way.
That is, yep. Flawless number to 25. It's patch autograph. So again, game worn, yellow and white patch. That sold for $819 USD. I'm actually...
What?
I'm totally fine with that. I look, it's on the high end. I acknowledge
oh no,
that,
look, I think I think that's a good, that's a bargain at that price. Game worn, I would take it.
Absolutely. Final thoughts on Kareem?
Final thoughts on Kareem. It's a player that obviously I want to have a little bit of in my collection. I posted up on the
tell us
Facebook.
about your autograph. So what made you buy that card? Because
my one for those playing at home is the Noir NBA 75.
Yep.
Which doesn't look like a Noir card. It doesn't feel like a Noir card, I will say. But it's the 75. I got the Kareem. I saw it at the Hobby Hangout.
Just to interrupt you, they nailed that subset,
design,
by the way.
That is amazing. And
whether it looks like a Noir card or not, like to me is irrelevant. It came out of that set. It's just a great looking card.
But I feel like Flawless or National Treasure should have done it. That's the design that they should have.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's really elegant for that. Yeah, I think Noir's gone above and beyond. They hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, definitely playing above themselves there. Yeah, so I saw it at the Hobby Hangout. I mean, the long and short of it is I saw a Shaq that I wanted, and our friend of the show, Joe, ShaqFu32, swooped on it before I came back around and got the Shaq. So still wanted a Laker great, and I'd seen the Kareem 75. That was the other card that caught my eye that day. So I did not mess around any further and went for that one and said that'd be a nice addition if that's the key Kareem in my collection.
Yeah. Sorry to razz on you, Joe, but you made the right decision out of him anyway. That was the right Laker to purchase if you were choosing between the two.
Yeah, true. Here is the way that you can get in touch with Russell and myself and be a bigger part of the show. Now, if you follow the link tree to our Facebook group, that is where Russell and I put our mailbags up, our card versus card, our player versus player, our buy, hold, sell questions. All of those will go up on socials, on IG as well, using the handle @YouCan'tCompThis. Now, if you do have a more tailored question, feel free to PM us on Instagram. You can reach out in our Facebook group, and we'll be happy to respond and see if it's something that we can add to the show. Once again, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate the support and love creating this content for our loyal listeners. If you haven't done so already, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. So hopefully we see you when we go live. Thanks for watching.